Hello and welcome to this week's episode of FDN. I am up here by myself because nobody wants to join me, so I guess I'm in charge of telling you what's going on this week. Nothing's going on this week except for a bunch of winter sports that we seem to be doing quite good at, so keep it up, basketball boys and girls and the bowling boys and girls and any other winter sports out there that have escaped my mind at the moment. And don't forget to come to the NHS Soup Supper, which is on the 23rd from 5 to 7:30. That's all the announcements and things I have to talk about for this episode, so enjoy!
Hello and welcome to this week's segment of LMCSD News. This week I'm going to be talking about one of the advanced classes in the art portion of LNM. Computer Graphics 2, taught by Miss Noble, has 4 students in it currently. Austin, Trenton, Clay, and David. This is the usual size for this class since it's a second level class. What's your favorite class?
This one, Computer Graphics.
The one that I'm teaching at the moment.
What do you like most about your Computer Graphics 2 class?
There's nobody in it.
This one?
Yeah.
David Saiwassing.
David Saiwassing.
I'm here.
What are the requirements to take this class?
So I recommend that you take Introduction to Art and Drawing, but that's not required. Computer Graphics 1 is required before Computer Graphics 2.
It's great.
So,
Thank you for watching this segment of LMCSD News, and I hope to see you next week for more.
Throughout time, humans have been searching for answers to questions that have plagued the human mind since the first thought. After millennia of searching, these questions will finally be answered. This is the definitive decision. Cheesecake. A delicious dessert that has been enjoyed for decades, but also a dessert shrouded in mystery. What exactly is cheesecake? It has cake in its name, but how can something that looks like this be a cake? Scientists have tried to define this mysterious food, but to no avail. But today, this is finally going to be answered. Cake is defined as an item of soft, sweet food made from the mixture of flour, shortening, eggs, sugar, and other ingredients, baked and often decorated. A pie is defined as a dish of fruit or meat and vegetables, typically with a top and a base of pastry. Cheesecake fits in both definitions in bits and pieces, so which is it? We interviewed 60 students of what they believe cheesecake was, given the options of cake, pie, and other. Out of the 60, 30 said that cheesecake was a cake, 19 said pie, and 11 said other. 68% of the people we interviewed were cheesecake is a pie. Cheesecake cannot be a cake because it's missing a key ingredient, flour. Cakes are also known to have multiple layers. Cheesecake does not. Also, just based on looks, cheesecake looks more like pie than it does cake. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Definitive Decision.
Yeah, I know what some of you are thinking. Yay, you're finally doing something that's not related to video games. Oh well, other of you are probably disappointed, and then you have those few people who are like, no, review video games, talk about the game. Listen. I will still be doing reviews and whatnot, but they will be moved to the back in my priority list. It's going to be more of an occasional thing. And I'm only really going to review something when I actually care about it, so that my opinion is not just me rambling on. Now, I'm not here to make people angry or to rustle people's jimmies. I'm not going to use my opinion. This isn't going to be an opinionated show. This is going to be purely factual and educational. I'm here to tell you the events that are unfolding in our world. I'll only be talking about a couple of things today because I don't have a lot of time left. The first thing I'd like to discuss is NAFTA, or the North American Free Trade Agreement. Recently, there have been a lot of talks that President Trump is going to renegotiate NAFTA to try and reduce the trade deficit that the US has with Canada and Mexico. Whether or not these negotiations will be successful, I have no idea. Another thing I would like to talk about is Brexit. Brexit was a vote by the citizens of the UK as to whether or not they wanted to leave the European Union. As you can see on this map, the UK is in orange and the European Union and the countries in the European Union are in blue. Now, the vote did go through, so the UK is currently trying to decide how it wants to leave the EU, what rules it wants to keep, and what rules it wants to do away with. And it's going to be a pretty tough transition for the entire country. Hopefully Britain can learn from the colonies and find independence in a relatively peaceful way. That's all the time I have today, so join me next week when I talk about more political news.
Hello and welcome to Clay's Question Corner. I'm obviously Clay. Okay, I'm not bad enough to be Clay.
Alright.
Ready? Take two.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Clay's Question Corner, the show on FDN where we answer questions to the best of our abilities. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're great, but always they are questions. Our first question, why is Flight Time called Flight Tim?
Like Tim?
Flight Tim. Well, you see, our mascot is a falcon, and falcons fly. That's as good of an explanation as I can get. Unicorns also fly. Pegasus fly. A lot of things fly, actually. I don't know why it's called Flight Time. I guess try to fly, learn to fly. I don't know. Next question. If you had a superpower, what would it be? Probably teleportation, because it's the best superpower. You can basically fly. You just keep teleporting in the same place constantly.
Maybe that's what you learn to do in Flight Time, is how to teleport.
You could. Maybe Flight Time is all about getting superpowers. You could become the Crimson Chin if you wanted to. I don't know. That's what superpower I would choose. Not anything boring like super strength or super speed. Let's look at this last question. Where is Clay? I'm right here. What do you mean? Clay's nowhere. He's nowhere and everywhere at the same time. We're all Clay. Clay has been one with the universe this whole time, and he's finally ascended to another plane of existence. So that's it for this episode of Clay's Question Corner. Join us next week when this box isn't completely empty. Thanks for watching this week's episode of FDN. Be sure to tune in next week for more fun, more information. Something's gonna happen.